and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another awesome episode of Box to Box. Yes, I am Marty, your host, and before I introduce my absolutely awesome Brentford fan, yes, it's Arsenal versus Brentford, 7:30 Wednesday evening underneath the lights at the Emirates. Please check out all of AFTV's other content, and yes, AFTV have got a brand new show being released next week, so stay tuned to find out. So introducing to you, the legend is back himself. Yes, he has done 5 or 6 box-to-box shows before. He is a mainstay when Brentford come to town. So, introducing to you, without further ado, Billy the Bee from Besotted. How are you, my man?
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm very well, mate. I'm very well.
It's nice to be back in the chair again, actually. Kind of change of scenery as well. First time chatting to you as well. So hopefully we're going to have a nice little chat today about football, because it's all about football. It
is indeed, mate. It is indeed. And on that note as well, so obviously Brentford, nicknamed the Bees, play at the G-Tech. There you go, the G-Tech Community Stadium with a capacity of 17,250.
That's right.
So yeah, you've been obviously. We'll quickly touch on it, because I remember, I think it was your first game in the Premier League.
That's right.
Where you beat us 2-0 at your place on that Friday evening.
One of your players scored, one of your current players scored as well, Norgaard.
Yes.
Yeah, Norgaard scored the goal. Yeah.
That was actually on not the Netflix season. That was the Amazon Prime season.
That's right. So, I think it was but it was a Friday night game.
It was, yeah.
It was quite mad as well, because it was the Friday night game, and it was off, and we just come out of lockdown as well.
Yeah.
Remember? So, excuse me, but there's a lot of excitement from all the fans, because I was like, oh my God, we can go inside a football stadium and we can start cheering for our team, because beforehand we were sitting at home watching it.
Yeah.
Or if you were doing like what we did, is our little pub. We had a little pub, and we used to go there, do the little social distancing, going watching all the matches that were screened, the championship matches that were screened on some iPlayer follow, whatever it called it, you know what I'm saying? So we had lots of fun doing that over the year, but we were thinking, no, mate, we need to get back in the stadium. So we were just happy to be there. I remember that. We were so happy to be there at that game, turn up, Brentford are playing Arsenal, bang. Next minute,
I know.
Just beating you.
I know. Do you know what? It was turn up for the books, but fair play to you guys. And we'll come on to your ex-players and obviously new players very shortly. So,
and I'm just going to remind you something, because I'm butting in here as well. Do you remember how we scored our second goal? Right? Because we got pulled up against it. We got pulled up on this all the time at the time, OK? No, it was a guy called Mad Spec Sorensen. He came on. He'd only been subbed on. He hadn't been on for too long. He comes up down the other end, takes the ball, threw the ball, like literally from the line all the way to the other end. I think it was Norgaard, then flipped it and we scored. But then everyone started talking to us about Stoke City and long throws. Yeah. That was like, how long ago? I had to bring this in now, because we're talking Arsenal now, you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what? The thing is we don't actually score from long throws. Set pieces, yes, and corners, obviously. But the long throws, but listen, I think it's testament, listen, Stoke City, that's a way to win football games. And, as I'm sure, when it's Arsenal, there's a problem with it. But listen, it worked for Stoke, and it's good enough for them. And, unfortunately, we haven't scored any set pieces recently. But how are you guys doing? What I want to get is sort of an overview of how you guys are doing at the moment and where you're at. Just had a great result against Burnley, smashed them up 3-1, literally changed in a blink of an eye. So a good result. So how are you guys doing?
I mean, this season, I'm going to put my hand up and say that we're doing all right.
Yep.
If you look at our season at the beginning of this season, it was catastrophic for us as fans, OK? And the reason why I say it's catastrophic is that Thomas Frank, I know there's a lot of business going on with him. You played him at the weekend and you absolutely tore him to pieces. But Thomas, I've got to mention that.
It's like he plays Ange ball.
You know what I'm saying? But we love Thomas. Thomas, for us, was the absolute don. And for me, I thought Thomas was going to be at Brentford forever. Not because I'm rose-tinted glasses, but some people at Brentford for a while, then they go, I could go somewhere else. Mark Warburton went off to Rangers and blah, blah, blah. It didn't work out. Next minute, he's now working at a B team in America. But that's just kind of what happens. Dean Smith is great. He's working out in States as well. But a lot of people leave Brentford because we've kind of got this whole ecosystem behind us. It's not about one person. It's about kind of whatever the club's doing. So sometimes when they leave, they find it quite difficult. Excuse me. But Thomas, I think he realised that, and he became almost like a member of the family. I mean, he came down to, Besotted, good Besotted podcast, Pride of West London, you catch it. And he came down to the pub with us, sat for 3 or 4 hours, just sat down and talked with us for football. Brilliant, lovely bloke.
That's brilliant.
Excuse me, I think he kind of. Sorry about this. So he's a really, really nice guy. So for me, I'm thinking he ain't ever going to leave. He's not going to leave Brentford because he's nowhere his bread's buttered. And what he's doing is he's just taking us next level, next level, next level. So when he left in the summer, we were devastated. As fans, we were devastated. Even though I had a little hint, because I've heard from one of my sources overseas that he actually went for that Man United and Chelsea job, which he's just told in his book now. But I've heard about that a year ago beforehand. And when I heard that, I was braced myself thinking, oh, my God, he's not here forever. So that killed us. But what killed us even more is he took all the backroom staff with him as well. All the top people, Justin Cochrane, who was at Tottenham beforehand as well, and he's on the bench with two for England. He's taken one of the top analysts that we've had. He took about 4 people with him. And that, for me, gutted me even more because I'm thinking, these are not even your people, Thomas. I'm saying, take the man that he actually bought from Denmark with him, he left him with us. You know what I'm saying? So he said, thank you very much. Right, you can have him. Right, I'm going to take your people. He goes off to Tottenham. So Brentford have to rebuild, find themselves a new head coach and a new backroom staff within a very short space of time. So the problem that we had with that is that instead of the head coach saying, right, we're going to go over to Germany, we're going to do 3 friendlies, we're going to do this, that, the other, this is the team that I want, they're sitting there interviewing people, trying to work out what we've got and trying to build up. So our pre-season was pretty rubbish, to be quite. They wouldn't say it to your face, but we know it. It was pretty rubbish, really. We played, I think, 1 friendly, probably like Boreham Wood, something like that, and 1 German team, and it wasn't great. So when we started our first game of the season, Keith Andrews came in. Big joke, Keith Andrews, oh yeah, the set piece coach, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. And you didn't really have any answer for that because you're thinking, well, I don't know anything about him, but, you know, if Brentford have employed him, he's got to be all right. But everyone was coating us saying, mate, you're going down. I remember going up to TalkSport and all the, you know, Jamie O'Hara and them lot going, mate, we've nicked your manager, mate, you're gone. And I'm just like, listen, as far as I'm concerned, if Brentford have done that, I'm not rose-tinted glasses, but they ain't stupid. £150 million a year, they ain't going to waste £150 million to put in a chump in. So he's come in, first game of the season for us, terrible. We were terrible, but since then, he's picked it up and he's learned. So our season, I'm actually very happy with our season, considering we lost Mbumo.
Yeah, I was just going to comment to you. You've lost Wissa, and Bruno, Frank, Norgaard to us, who's your captain, who, you know, listen, he's a top player. And you know, I'll be honest with you, at the beginning of the season, Brentford, along with Bournemouth, were 2 teams due to, obviously, Bournemouth lost their goalkeeper and 3 of their back 4 who were phenomenal. And I looked at them, I was like, there's no way they're going to be able to replace that level of quality and stay up. I thought they were certain to go down. And I'll be honest with you, likewise with you, you've lost, you know, 2 world-class attacking players, top players. We know what they can do. Norgaard, your man in the centre, you've lost your manager. And Thomas Frank done a job for Brentford. You know, you were resolute, solid, you know, team to beat in seasons before. but now this season...
But the thing is, and I hear what you're saying, the thing about Brentford, and we've got used to it over the years as fans, we knew Mbumo's going to go, right? We knew it like 18 months, we were like, he's going to go this, because that's the way that Brentford operate. When you get to that level, they know he's at that level now, he's got the value, we'll sell him, and we'll get 70 million, and then we'll buy 3 players for that. That's kind of how we operate, and that's how we build, and we get a stronger side. And we say that the players that we've got, they'll eventually be as good or even better than he will be. So we knew he was going to go, so that was fine. So all the fans were resigned to that. The killer one for us was Wissa, the snake, right? Because Wissa was meant to stay, and he knew that he was meant to stay because Brentford would never have sold, even though they're a selling team.
Both of them.
They sell players at the right time. Yeah. So Wissa probably was going to go like next summer. So it was all lined up. All of a sudden, he's thinking, right, he's got to move. I'm going to have a move. And we thought, no, mate, no, you've got to stay here. It's that, the other. But against the manners of the Brentford, because Brentford normally, all the players have got manners. They're like, right, we understand, you know, everyone like Gurhey, like at Crystal Palace. Okay, you ain't going to Liverpool. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I'll play for the shirt and I'll carry on. But he didn't do that. He went on strike. And I've never seen the club, and also the fans turn on a player as much as they've done with Wissa.
Oh, did they?
Oh, mate, I'm telling you, really bad.
Okay.
The club went firm and they went, you're not leaving, you're not leaving, you're not leaving. But then he didn't turn up to training, didn't turn up to anything like that. And the club said, you're not leaving. And then in the end, they thought, all right, this is going to say, right, you can leave, but this is our price, 40 million. Nothing less, and we have to make sure that you leave at time for us to buy another player.
Yeah.
In the end, they messed around. Newcastle messed us about. In the end, he ended up going on the final day. We didn't think he was going to go. Even Keith Andrews didn't think he was going to go. But I thought they think that he wasn't training. They thought that I think the upset was probably too much in the training room camp for them to be there. So they went to Newcastle. Right, okay, you can go 55 million. So we put another 15 million on top. They gave us the money. They sold him. everyone was nervous because they thought, we ain't got a replacement. We've got a replacement for Mbumo, which is Uatara, which we got from Bournemouth. Okay, give him about a year and he'll probably get up there, but he's got a replacement. But we ain't got one for Wissa. That's 20 goals.
So you've got 125 million for basically Mbumo and Wissa.
And Tony, we haven't spent his money yet.
Right, so and another one I was going to say is the season before Ivan Toney, who's your talisman, you know, your big striker. Obviously, he was out. This is the thing that I found sort of a bit hard to stomach, if I'm honest with you. I'm obviously not a Brentford fan. Obviously, he had that ban for gambling, and, you know, you stuck by him, and then he comes back. See you later, mate.
I mean, again, these are... We're a club of a certain size, and I'm not making excuses for it, but...
Yeah, but there's something to be said about loyalty, right?
Yes, but there's a lot to be said about loyalty, and that's why I think that Brentford, that in general, they do have a certain type of player. Christian Norgaard is one of them players. He is fantastic, gentlemanly, brilliant player, just does, you know, just puts the work in when he has to.
The transfer fee for Christian Norgaard?
10.
I mean, we've taken... When you look at... I understand they're different sort of players, but 10 million quid for your captain... So we've done fantastic business on that, you know. And for me, Norgaard can play in the 6 and the 8. Would I be right in saying he's a versatile midfielder? Can be box to box, can be holding defensive, and a very a role model.
Yeah.
In the changing room.
So it's interesting you talk about Norgaard, and we'll talk about him. Did you actually know that he actually used to be an attacking midfielder? So he started off as an attacking midfielder, and he actually played for Thomas Frank in one of his teams in Denmark as well.
Okay.
You know, and Thomas Frank used to play at Brøndby as well,
Okay.
so he was there. So there's all these other things that are going on that people don't know.
So how comes Frank didn't try and nick him for Tottenham?
You never know that if he did or not.
Okay.
I'm saying to you, but at the end of the day, you don't know what's going on, because again, we could have we could do a whole new show on Tottenham, right? And, you know what I'm saying? And the things...
What, slandering them?
Well, no, but the things that are right and wrong about how football clubs, it's not necessarily about bringing people in and just throwing money at it. There's other things that needs to be done, and I've talked about this a lot on Box to Box when, you know, and Turkish and everything like that beforehand. I've talked about it every time about Arsenal, how I felt that Arsenal fans years down the line, even when we first played them, and they were getting anxious, saying, we need to do this Arteta out. I'm saying, listen, mate, if he's doing the right things, it's all about the slow build. You know what I'm saying? So Norgaard, like I said to you, attacking midfielder, moved into central midfield, as a defensive midfielder. He's a really good player, but what's more about it is that, again, it's about loyalty. You want players to come in who are going to do it. So, say Norgaard, he ain't coming into Arsenal and he's moaning that he's on the bench, right? And that's the kind of player that you want. He's still ambitious. He knows his place. And when he comes in, he's meant to do a job. When he's at Brentford, we lost him. But the fact is that there's already a replacement plan in place for Norgaard, because he was getting older. He is relatively injury prone. And because he was such a key player for us, we're playing him week in and week out. We were playing him Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. And he couldn't play Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So after, like, on Saturday, he'd come out and then he'd have to, you know, he might not play in the third game. You know, we played Newcastle in the Cup last year. They won the Cup last year, but we played in the quarterfinals. We've all flown up to Newcastle, right? All come out going, yeah. And then we looked at our team. Norgaard weren't playing. We thought, Norgaard weren't playing. That's it. We're done. And that's because
He's that good.
We were playing Forest on the Saturday, and we played Chelsea on the Sunday. And they just said we can't play him on the Wednesday as well, so they took him out. It's different for Arsenal because you have got a wealth of players and a bigger squad. So you can pull him in and say, right, Norgaard, you're playing in that European game there. We're going to bring you off the bench for 20 minutes and then he'll do a job in that time. But for us, we'd have played him 3 games in a row. And then by the third game, he's coming off the pitch and he's doing an hour and a half recovery, you know what I'm saying, before he comes out. So it's a very different scenario altogether. So there was already a replacement plan in place for Norgaard, where I think that him and another player are probably going to play side by side, maybe for a season to 2, then maybe he might have gone off somewhere else. And so I think it was a surprise that Arsenal came in, offered us that money, and we thought, oh, there we go. Well, we weren't expecting 10 million, but so there you go. So we took it, and we got in, we got in Jordan Henderson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Jordan Henderson's been pretty decent for you guys.
He's been really, really good for us.
Another player that obviously, and I find it interesting with sort of these players, obviously went to Saudi and then everyone's like, oh, come back to the Premier. Reminds me very much of Granit Xhaka, our old boy. Obviously coming to Sunderland, he's done, he's finished, you know, obviously went to Leverkusen, his legs are gone, and obviously a midfielder needs that engine to get around and needs the legs. But both of those players, Henderson and Xhaka, this season have been phenomenal. They've come back, come to sides and been like, right, I'm really going to stake my claim and I'm going to show everyone what I'm about as a player. And they've both driven their teams on and been phenomenal.
I went up to Sunderland as well. brilliant. I know you went up there as well. You had the away day.
Indeed.
What a brilliant away day, son. I haven't been up there for, obviously the last time they came down in the Championship, which is about 7 or 8 years ago. What a great away day that was. So everyone from Brentford went up there. Of course, they want to get their little tick box if they haven't been there. Sunderland fans were brilliant. Great laugh up there. We were winning 1-0, missed a penalty, as you do, to go 2-0 up. And next minute, but it was Xhaka who is up there, and he basically turned it around because their engine, they didn't stop, they kept on going. And again, like I said to you, because we had a rubbish pre-season, it was our second away game of the season, we still weren't quite ready. So we weren't ready for this team that was like, hold on a second, there's like still 3 minutes to go and they're still coming at us. What's going on there? Bang, bang. Scored a 90th plus 6 minute winner or something like that. Killed us. I think just like they scored a late one for you as well, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Killed it. That's what
yeah.
they did. But players like him, I really love players like that who their heart and soul are in it. It doesn't matter what shirt they're wearing. They're not going, I've got to play with Man United and blah, this, that, the other. They'll do that for Sunderland or Burnley, whoever they are, and play it. And I really love footballers because for me, it's about football. It's not about the top six for me. The top six, I'm happy to be in the Premier League, but I never even watched Premier League football because it was such a million miles away from where I was. So I'm going to Wrexham and Grimsby and flipping, and all these other places that we're going to week in and week out, like up and down on the trains. So seeing Arsenal and Tottenham and stuff like that, that was a million miles away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all we did is that we saw players, a lot of very average players, playing their hearts out for their team, and then there might be one or two players that did spark up that actually like, oh man, he's a wicked player. And watching that was actually kind of our football as such. So when we come up to this level now, we just got a lot of respect for the teams and the players who they will play for their side and they'll do whatever for their side. Doesn't really matter what. And that's why the Wissa thing really hurt for us because we backed him big time. He was a bit part player. When Arsenal played Brentford a few years ago, my Arsenal friend came down. He was at the match with me, and I think Wissa came on after 70 minutes, and he's like, "This Wissa guy, I don't really rate him." I'm like, "He's a bit of an impact. He's like a super sub type person." I'm like, "Yeah, we bring him off the bench, and he runs around a little bit, maybe scores a goal and everything like that." But he got his opportunity when Tony went into the gambling running, so we had a gap, right? And they went, "All right, Wissa, here's your time now. Come on." And then fair play to him. He actually sort of stepped it up there. So we gave him his chance, and yes, he took it, and he scored goals and everything like that. But for a player to act like that, and a lot of people say, oh, you've got a short career and you need to do what you need to do. There's no need to behave like that. Manners manners cost nothing. You know what I'm saying? And respect for the people.
Everywhere.
You know what I'm saying? The respect for the people that took you where you are, that's really, really important. So I look at Arsenal team and I look at players, I say, I like him. He's got manners, he's got the right attitude. Doesn't matter what.
And speaking of manners and attitude, I want to talk about another one of your old boys, but one of our new boys, and what he was like, David Raya. Fantastic goalkeeper for us, and I love his manners. I mean, he's come over to me with my daughter and given her his gloves. And I love seeing that from players, because we have these untouchable sort of multi-millionaire football players that aren't accessible. But, I've seen David Raya do this a few times, and where I sit by the dugout, comes round, gave my daughter, and it made her year. It really did. It was phenomenal. And obviously, I did watch him at Brentford this season by chance. I'd keep an eye on goalkeepers, and he was at that time statistically probably one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League in his shots to save ratio and clean sheets. And then obviously what he's doing at Arsenal now. Talk to us about David Raya a little bit and his time at Brentford and how high do you rate him?
I will do it, and I'm just going to say we're on a snap here as well, mate. You know what I'm saying? Because the guy that I set up a girls' football team up in North London, Barnet Panthers, and the guy who I set it up with, Darren, his daughter Elsie, also got David Raya's glove.
Oh, really?
Over in Norwich as well.
So I manage my daughter's football team. So
there you go.
Similar.
So it's a daughter's football team thing, isn't it? Like I say, and she's got it framed. They're actually over living in Mexico. I'm going to go and see them, and I'm going to see them at the World Cup actually next year as well. Okay. So I'm going out there. So she's got it framed on her wall up there, the big David Raya glove as well. There's a few jokes about the David Raya glove. I can go into David Raya. Wolverhampton fans wouldn't be happy about when he happened to break his glove in the middle of a game, and it took a lot of time for him to kind of fix it. You know what I'm saying? And Wolves fans are very not happy about the dark arts. You know what I'm saying? David Raya. I've never seen anybody waste time by trying to fix a glove. They were saying, but that's what he did. But David Raya. And again, I've been on this show again, and fans will have a look at it. And I wasn't saying it as a know-it-all, but a lot of people going, Ramsdale this and Ramsdale that. I'm saying, listen, trust me, David Raya, right, as a Brentford fan, right, what we do is that with the players that move on, other than it's Wissa, we tip our hat to them and we say good luck to you, because that's the way that we are. We're like saying you've done what you've had for us, and then you're moving up to another level, and we want you to do really well. Of course, when you're playing against us, of course we want to beat you every time. But if you are respectful to us and you have worked hard for us to do the right thing, we will always tip our hat to you. And David Raya was always a true professional, a great goalkeeper. Interestingly, when he first started for us, the beginning of his season, he came from Blackburn, and we heard about this guy. We were in the Championship, and he came on for us, and we were like, "Oh, he's a bit dodgy, isn't he? Like, you know, he's not quite shot shopping, not quite sure." And but again, with Brentford, they said, "Look, don't worry about it. We know exactly what his strengths are. We'll build him into it." And it took him a bit of a while, but afterwards we saw exactly what his game was. And when, like I said to you, I came on and I said to you, look, David Raya, and he was on that loan deal. It was like, it wasn't a loan deal. We were trying to sort you out for your FFP.
Yeah,
of
course you was.
Yeah, so a little favour for favour. So all of a sudden, like, you know, as you see a few, Reece Nelson's gone over to Brentford now. You know what I'm saying? I think we might have reeled in that favour. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
You know, but
because I did think that for that money, and obviously I was thinking you're loaning us your number one goalkeeper, and he was that good. And obviously, like you said, the Ramsdale situation, I always thought it reminded me very much of the David Seaman and John Lukic situation in 1990-91 when we bought David Seaman from QPR for $3 million. And obviously, John Lukic was a fan's favourite because, well, we won the league with him in 88, 89. And Arsenal fans were up in arms. Why Ramsdale? Because he was a fan favourite, because obviously he got involved with the fans and they loved him and he made some good saves and he was that kind of guy and going for England, you know, England number one sort of status. But then obviously David Raya, and it's like, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. For me, Ramsdale had a few mistakes in him. Now, David Raya recovers from his mistakes if he makes any, and he's, you know, he's a top goalkeeper, and you know what you're getting with him.
Really, but the reason why, and it was so clear for us, because we talked about it on our podcast, Besotted Pride of West London, as we said, and we sat down there, little crew, me, Laney and the Allard, and we said, I mean, it's so obvious, right? Raya for Arsenal, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. And the reason why he is that, inverted commas, as you call it, the sweeper keeper, right? Yeah. Good with his feet. So what he almost becomes an additional midfielder, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. The way that he comes out, he's really comfortable on the ball, but also his distribution. And that distribution could be worth what? Maybe 5 goals, 3 goals, 8 goals. Like, so, you know, that could be another 6 points, another 8 points in the season. His distribution, which is really, really important.
And especially how we play, so where he plays higher up, he'll get the ball and recycle it quicker. So the ball's going straight back in, as opposed to having a defender there and then moving it. You've got an extra defender in the formation to then move the ball around to keep us pressing teams. And obviously for us, it's another London player that we've bought, and I think Mikel Arteta has done fantastic. So he's settled into life at Arsenal really quickly. But talking about teams, let's go into your team. So give me your team layout. I want the formation, and I want the players in the positions that they'd play. How you expect Brentford to set up against Arsenal on Wednesday night?
So, now this is the question,
go on.
right? Because we've changed manager, right?
Yeah.
You see, so if you asked me that question last season or maybe the season before, I probably would be able to tell you. And as you saw from Saturday, and we keep referring to the Tottenham game because I know it's going to make your fans happy, it's going to make you happy. And also for us, it makes us think, well, maybe, like, you know, we're doing all right. Thomas Frank used to always set up against Arsenal with 5 at the back. Just like what he did against you on Saturday. But on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was, Saturday, Sunday.
It was not last week, Sunday, it was Sunday before. So he set up with it. But then on top of that, then what's happened is that against you, it just didn't work. There was something that it was flat. What he does is he overloads on the right hand side with essentially on Saka. He'd overload and create a 4v2, and we had Saka and Timber, and that 4v2. But we found a way to play that ball through that 4 into Eze in the middle, and that's where Eze found himself in so much space in front of goal, and then that's where he got the 3, could have had 4. So
well, that's what I'm saying. The midfield was just honestly, I was watching that game and I was thinking, God, this doesn't look like that. But what was interesting about that is that we always used to go 5 at the back, and the reason why we did it is because the limitations of our squad. Listen, we know what we're about, okay? And the limitation says we're playing Arsenal, right? Literally, Arsenal are going to have 3,472 passes against you, right? You're going to struggle to get the ball off them. So what we need to do is that we'll sit in a particular way, right? 5 at the back. And what we'll do with Ivan Toney and Boom, we'll hit them, bang, 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 long balls, or play the balls out, blah, 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 straight down the wings, and then get behind you and then do what we have to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we used to play, and it used to work to a certain extent because of the players that we've had. Things have changed a little bit now. For a start, like I said, we haven't got Norgaard in the middle, right? We've got Jordan Henderson, you know, so you talk about the flat layout. So We've tried this time with Keith Andrews, who's still a rookie manager, trying a few things out. So we went 2 games where we went 5 at the back. We went Fulham away, which is like, it's like you go to Tottenham away and go 5 at the back and then get smashed. We got smashed at Fulham and all the fans were really unhappy, right? Because we can't go to Fulham and just flop, and we flopped it quite badly. And everyone's going, why did he do it? And why did he keep saying that 5? It obviously wasn't working, right? Why didn't he change it up? And he didn't change it up quick enough. So after that, he came and he flipped it back. So he went 4 at the back. And then we played Man City again, and he went 5 at the back. And they beat us, I think it was 1-0. But it was a bit of a wimpy 1-0. And if we'd actually had a go at them, we actually could have probably got a result, if not a draw, if not a win. And I think he's learned from that. It's a long way of me going about saying to himself, normally we would go 5 at the back against Arsenal, but I don't know. I'm not sure whether or not Keith's going, listen, this is the free hit for us. We're going to lose it anyway. On our little sheet, Brentford have got a little sheet of matches. Every match they go along, they say, right, this one's 3 points, that one. That's what they do, predicting every game. And this one, I can probably guarantee they can say, we're going to get nothing out of this. However, it's a free hit for us. So what we're going to do is that we're going to try this against you. And it wouldn't surprise me if we decided to go 4 at the back. You're saying where we got Coyote on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we're probably going to go for Aaron Hickey, the Scottish international. Okay. He's got more defensive in him. And then we've got Van der Berg and we've got Collins in the middle. We've got those 2 in the middle. Henderson, CDM. And then the 2 in the midfield, we're going to have Yarmolenko. Okay. Yarmolenk's an interesting player because he's from the Ukraine. Okay. And we were going to buy Mudryk, right? Remember him, right?
Yeah, too. Yeah.
So we were way before anybody with Mudryk, as we do with our stats and all that. So
lucky escape there, mate.
Yeah, but so we went in for 12 million, 14 million for him. I think they wanted 16 million. We decided not to go up to that. The war came, so everything stopped. Yeah. Then when the war finished, next minute, up pops Arsenal and Chelsea, and the numbers have gone up to 30, 40, 50. Wow. Of course, Brentford, right, we're out of this. So we let Chelsea go and buy him for 80 million. Then we went, and we go, hey, we'll have him instead. So we bought Yarmolenko for 1.5 million. Wow. We've been developing over that stage, and he is a phenomenal player. Okay. So he's the one with the legs in the midfield. So that's him going to be playing there in the midfield with Damsgaard. You know what I'm saying? So you've got Yarmolenko and Damsgaard with Jordan Henderson inside there. Okay. So you've got that going on. Then you've got Utara, who we got from Bournemouth as well, who is getting better and better as like a wing player. He's the replacement player for Mbumo. Mm-hmm. Then we've got Sharda. Again, Sharda plays hot and cold, but again, he's strong, he's good in the air, he's fast. Mm-hmm. He just, sometimes his decision-making is a little bit off. And then we got the player that everyone's talking about, who is Thiago, who is possibly, and I'm going to say, right, I'm quite a happy football fan, right? Mm-hmm. He is probably the happiest football player that you will ever meet in your life because he's just happy to be there. It's like... if you watch Ted Lasso, right, and you've got the player, they go, football is life. Oh, football is life. He is a real football is life type player. So you look at him, when he scores the goals, he's just happy to be there. Apparently when he was young, I think his father died, so he had to look after his family, not much money, everything like that. Made as a footballer a little bit later in life, and he's just happy to be there. So he's great. So every time he scores a goal, he's just celebrating. If he doesn't score a goal, he's celebrating. If he's not playing, he's still celebrating. He's a fantastic player. He's a great player to have in the side, and he's scoring these goals. And if you look at him, he's got this maybe slightly awkward way about how he plays his football. He's not like Ivan Toney at all, even though he's Ivan Toney's replacement. Yeah. So if you just look at him, but he's almost like he won't have 50 shots a game. He'll have 3 or 4 shots a game, but he's like bang, gets the ball, bang, in the back of the net. So very, very interesting setup there that we're going to have. If we're not careful, if we play, like I said to you, 4-3-3, we could get picked off and blown apart by Arsenal. Yeah. You're going to play as you always do with that high press, especially with someone like Jordan Henderson. What you're going to be trying to do, because he doesn't play like Norgaard. He's much more composed, slower, looking for the passes, looking to pick a pass out there, that kind of thing. Yeah. And if you press him and stop getting the ball out, he could pin us back and give us really problems. We don't play the ball long like we did to Ivan Toney, because Ivan Toney was brilliant in the air and he could do that. Igor, he's not that type of player. And it's taken us about sort of 6 or 8 games to work out, listen, don't play the ball in the air to Igor because he ain't going to win it, you know what I'm saying? But he's a kind of running off type person, pulling the defence left and right, you know what I'm saying? Running into channels, flicking the ball off, the little back heel that he did for the penalty against Brighton. If you ever look at that wicked little back heel that he did, he's a really interesting, slightly different player. And I think that with Brentford, we can go one of 2 ways. If we play this slow, trying to build up game with no energy, we'll get absolutely smashed by you, right? Yeah. But if we start going a bit manic and and get our passes together and moving the ball out, and the players are moving all over the place, Utara and you see Coyote, right back. You watch that right back. He's mad, right?
Yeah.
And I say it in a nice way because we all love him. He's got his own song. Within 2 days of coming, right?
Wow.
Yeah, Michael Coyote. He eats spaghetti. He drinks Moretti. He hates Queen's Park Rangers. Right? It sounds stupid when I sing it, but it's actually quite funny because it was just off the cuff song, and he's become a real fan favourite. And the reason why they like him, last season actually, he's the one that came off the bench. Went down the wing, crossed the ball in for the Snake Wissa to put the ball in the back of the net.
Wow.
And when he did that, everyone was like, oh my God, Coyote's the best player ever. And we were like, yeah, OK, but defensively he's still got a lot to work on. But as football fans, we like the attacking side of players. So he'll pick up the ball on a right wing, like the right back position. Next minute, you look at him, he's going up the wing, and then he'll be crossing, then he'll be going across the goal onto the left wing, right somewhere, and then he'll end up in the middle somewhere. Honestly, he is just the most bonkers players, and I think that all your statisticians are probably sitting down there thinking, oh, what's he going to do now?
We're going to put on him.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know what to do. He's a brilliant player, and he's also the one that's got the aerial long throw, the throw that literally comes from one end and it goes to the other end of the goal as well. So he's got that in his bunker, which has actually been a real artillery for us as well. So he's going to be an interesting player because I think for us, we need sort of kind of randomers in the mix to kind of fluster you a little bit. If it's all too standard, Arsenal will absolutely kill us. So we need to come with a little bit of random.
So let's talk about your run of form. You have just beaten Burnley 3-1. I believe you got beaten by Brighton 2-1. Away. You beat a 10-man Newcastle 3-1. Then you got beaten by Crystal Palace 2-0. Then you smashed the absolute life out of Grimsby 5-0 in the FA Cup.
That was in the League Cup.
League Cup.
That was a great away day. Everyone.
So I memorised all the results, then right at the end, I forgot it was the League Cup instead of the FA Cup.
But that was so this. Right. People, bing. Right. Man City tickets come up. Everyone's like, oh, Man City, right. Something. And then bing, Man United tickets come up, and everyone's like, yeah, okay, you go to Man United, maybe. Grimsby tickets come up. Everybody went. Bing. Everybody went. Because they're like, this is our away day. We remember going to Grimsby back in, 2005, Martin Allen, the Great Escape. Now, if we lost that game, we would have got relegated to Division 4, blah, blah, this, that, the other. So we went to Grimsby. What a fantastic night out that was.
Definitely.
The singing, everyone was singing old school songs. Like, they were singing, 80s, footballers, Terry Hurlock, this, that, the other. 90s football songs, It was great. Lasse Vibe, apparently he's a striker that we had around about 2016, 2017. 2016, 2016, he even tweeted, he's going, I heard Brentford fans were singing my song at Grimsby the other day. That's so wonderful. That's sort of the kind of strange and weird things that we do, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so you talk about those games, that was our run. But if you've noticed, other than the Grimsby and Bournemouth as well, which is in the Cup, and then West Ham, which is a little bit later, which was West Ham, who was the old West Ham, who were terrible West Ham, we never win away.
Yeah.
We've won all at home.
Well, let's hope you don't on Wednesday night.
Except Man City.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're coming to yours a little bit tentative, it has to be said.
So what do you think of Arsenal?
Arsenal, you're going to hate me for saying this because you know that I'm jinxing you, right? And I've been on your show every year, and I 2 years ago, if you look at it, and I said, Arsenal win...
I don't know if it's fine.
I came on your show, like I said, I think it was 2 years ago, and I said Arsenal are going to win the league within 2 or 3 years. And I've said this on this box to box. And the reason why is it's a steady build. If you've got a steady build, you've got somebody at the helm who knows what they're doing and they're building. And you don't get the results. You finish second, you finish third. That doesn't matter because as long as you're doing the right things and you're building, you're going the right direction. So I saw that was happening. And the fact is that nothing lasts forever. So everyone saw Man City, it's like, Man City, I look at them, oh my God.
Yeah.
Man City are never going to last forever.
No,
Liverpool, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Liverpool's reign has come to an end even quicker than people have ever thought it was. So at the end of the day, as long as you're stepping up at the right pace and doing the right things and everybody around you knows that and they're on the same page, you will succeed. So I am going to say, and you're not going to like me for this, it's Arsenal's to lose this season.
It is indeed. Right? No, we're our own worst enemy, 100%. So what do you think of Arteta?
Okay, as looking on the outside, and I've said to you as well, as a manager, you have to stick with him because the fact is, I like the fact that he didn't come from a glorious background, as in he hadn't got 3,000 trophies. Because everyone always believes, to be in the Premier League, to win something, you have had to have won something. Nonsense, right? What you need to do is that you need to be doing the right things. I keep on saying that, and I'm saying that as a Brentford fan, because that's how we operate. We find people and we say, right, this is what we want. We want X, all these things, all these qualities to be able to do that. When you do that, then what we'll do is that we'll stick with you and then we'll grow with you, right? I think that Arsenal, to a certain extent, have done that with Arteta. Yeah, he's been, assistant coach here and there, but he hasn't been the Don and he hasn't gone out and all stuff. But he's come in and I think they've identified him as being a person that they felt can do a job. So I say as a manager, I think, yes, from day one I was saying, yes, you have to stick with him. He is a bit moany, right? And he gets a bit petty, but that's maybe his job to do his things, He got very upset about, some of the things that Ivan Toney was saying sometimes, which is quite funny. But that's his job as such. I think that as from a fan's perspective, so if I'm going to put myself back on the fan's head on, I would like him to be a little bit more respectful to an opposition team, especially if they give you a bit of a game. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know a lot of people keep coming to Thomas Frank, they're saying, Thomas, you're being too respectful. You've just been beaten 5-1. And you go, they were very good. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want you to be saying, the fans don't want you to be hearing you saying that kind of thing. But the fact is, I think that there's a balance up that you can do. And it's always quite critical of the opposition, even if they do very well. And it's kind of, especially for Brentford, in all our years, we've always been put down. We've always been like, you this, and you're never going to do anything, you're tin pot, you're this, that, the other. And we don't care because we just carry on and do it. So when we go somewhere and we do something which we think is quite good, and the opposition will go, we've did our thing, but also fair play to Brentford because whatever they did was great, or their fans are really great, something like that. Again, we'll tip our hat to them because we think you're a football person and you are talking in footballing terms rather than rolling out the same old cliches to try and kind of just like... So for Arteta, good manager, but he needs to just lighten up a little bit and just give a little bit more respect to the other side. And this is just me as a Brentford fan.
No, fair play. So how much is a season ticket and how much is a single ticket for a Category A game at the G-Tech Community Stadium?
Season ticket in the West Stand, which is behind the goal, which is our equivalent of the Braemar Road, not the Braemar Road, which is the equivalent of the Ealing Road at Brentford's Griffin Park Stadium, which is the terraces. So I used to stand on the terraces for 40 odd years, you know what I'm saying? So that's where I used to stand. And I've transported myself now to the West Stand, which is the area behind the goal, which is all safe standing. And a season ticket for an adult in that section, and I should really know this, but I believe it's around about, it used to be about 450 quid, if not maybe 500 or just under 500 quid, around about that. For the season, gets you all your league matches. And then for a Category A ticket, and again, because I don't go out and buy separate tickets because we've got, there's a network of season ticket holders that we're able to, if people can't make it, then season ticket holders will actually be able to, get their guests and their friends to come in through that. So we've got our little network of people that work our season tickets between themselves so the money goes out. But the people that buy outside of that, I believe a Cat A ticket will be, if it's not £45, it might be about £50 as well for a Cat A game, which will be Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, I think, Man United.
And all, etc. So, score prediction for Wednesday night.
It's funny because we haven't done our podcast yet, so I haven't had time to think about this one. I'm normally actually very, very... I'm normally quite sort of kind of, not honest, but I'm always quite bubbly about kind of what the score prediction will be because I always think you can always get a little something. As a Brentford fan, we will be very happy with a draw. All right, because at the end of the day, we've only won one league match away, which is West Ham, and so to get anything away from home will actually be a bonus, and especially going to Arsenal, who, if you ain't careful, they'll just pick you to pieces and they'll just destroy you. So I'm going to go out and say that we're going to win 1-0.
Fair play. Nice. Well, I'm going to go for 3-1, and the reason why I believe Saliba and Gabriel are out of the back, so there could potentially be a goal in it for you, but I think we're going to be strong on the night. I think there'll be, with the squad we've got players coming back in, and I just think we'll do a job at home. The Emirates has been a fortress this year, and I think we're going to get the job done. But listen, Billy, you've been an absolute superstar. Thank you so much for coming down and sharing your experience around Brentford. Greatly appreciated. And let us know in the comments what you thought of the show today. And likewise, please check out all of AFTV's other content across all the platforms, and please check out the AFTV app. There are some phenomenal features on that, and like I said, there is a new show coming soon. So I've been Marty, he's been Billy, this has been Box to Box.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching, absolute pleasure. You've been a superstar. Stay tuned, we'll see you soon.